Hello everyone and welcome to today's Stocks and Crypto YouTube Charts video. I am No FOMO Charts. Today is Saturday, July 18, 2026. It's after midnight here in the USA Eastern Standard Time. Welcome everyone. This is a swing trading and investing YouTube Charts channel and video. Next week, we have earnings releases from companies such as Domino's Pizza, 3M, General Motors, Halliburton, Alaska Air, AT&T. We also have big earnings coming out from Alphabet, Tesla, IBM, Intel, Honeywell. We also have American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, T-Mobile, and American Express. Economic data next week. There's not much inflation data, but we have weekly employment change, unemployment claims, crude oil inventories, natural gas storage, treasury currency report, and new home sales as well. Recent news. Last month, USA June 2026 CPI and PPI inflation data decreased by 0.3% and 0.4% respectively. That is good. President Trump directed the USTR to impose a 25% tariff on specific Brazilian imports. This is supposedly a reciprocal tariff. Alphabet will delay the release of its new Gemini 3.5 Pro model for AI. USA Bank and Financial EPS earnings results were good, but investors are being cautious and are rotating capital to defensive sectors such as finance, insurance, and defensive stocks due to AI valuations and volatility. SpaceX aborted the Starship Flight 13 launch and is planning to attempt another launch as early as next week. Chinese startup Moonshot AI released a new competitive AI model. DeepSeek AI is developing its own proprietary AI chip to compete. Let's do some ETFs today. Start off with SPY. SPY, S&P 500 ETF. We had this double top below 756, and that was forecastable because that was the resistance from last week, 755. We had this large double top M, which was triggered by the AI chip semiconductor sell-off. Turned into a daily double top here on SPY 755, and we fell down to the secret pivot point of 741. Pivot points actually do work on a daily chart and a weekly chart as targets for support and resistance. It does help. So, are we extremely oversold on anything daily? No. Anything extreme on a weekly? No. 4 hour? No. In terms of oversold. Weekly, hourly, there could be a small bullish momentum that's forming, but probably there could be further sell-off somewhere down to 738. It needs to get really oversold, and we have some MACD histogram momentum building as well for the day traders. But me as a swing trader, this is not a buy signal for me. A buy signal would have been on Friday, June 26th, because we have a larger daily momentum, and that was the more predictable move to buy from this oversold bullish divergence and sell at this double top. But for me, I'm a long biased trader and investor, so I'm really trying to not day trade so much, and I don't really aggressively short as much as probably I should. By aggressive, I mean maybe when there's a really good short setup, short that down. I'm just so used to being a long bull that it doesn't even really cross my mind to do it so much. Meaning, if I see this, for example, in a May 2026, when this is starting to get bearish divergence, I would just take profit as a bull, but I wouldn't really enter into the short position. That's why you don't really hear me telling people to short. So QQQ on the daily chart, we had this sell-off, and the weekly chart showing us that double top, triple top. And remember, I was warning last week about AI stocks, chip stocks, when it consolidates sideways and we lose a support line, we're going to get that sell-off. But it fell right down to the weekly 695 support level. On the daily chart, we had that short-term EMA down cross. We're now targeting that 681 level, but algorithms know once we get a lower band Bollinger Band piercing, some algorithms just bought there. So as a short-term trade. So I have to be very careful here that, yes, I don't want to buy a falling knife or a backside trade where there's no momentum, or a lower high trade where it starts downtrending. But at the same time is, if the AI chip sell-off stops, there's going to be an area of value, and usually the deepest level of value is 200 EMA or below that, if it's still going to be a long trade. So summarize, support level 685, resistance 699. Those are the only two levels I have to watch out for as a swing trader. Dow Jones, we'll go a little faster. Dow Jones DIA, we had this lower low, lower high, lower low, approaching that support of 518, trying to stay above 516, and resistance would be 526. In this case, for a daily Dow Jones, it's right below the trend line, so suspicious there. Russell 2000, that head and shoulders is almost coming true. It has to really break below 293 to really crash down to 288. And again, for me, this is not really the best place to be shorting unless there's some major extreme fundamental change that's about to happen. The better place to short is when we have a double, triple rejection, and then there's a margin of safety to short that down. I'm always weary of shorting support, meaning if I did this in a trade, and 3% is really a large amount, let me just do 1% just to show, is that it's already moved 2% from this top spot. It's actually moved almost 3.5%. So it's kind of late to short unless there's some extreme macro change that's about to happen. Let's go faster here. Oil continues its nice uptrend, and honestly, on the 4-hour, we can see the higher high, higher low pattern. And if we switch to short-term EMAs, it's up cross. So as long as that short-term EMA is up crossed and we're above this 1-hour pivot point, 4-hour pivot point, it's probably going to rally and then pull back. This high, low, higher high, try to do 133. They probably pull back to like 130 until there's a major change. Was it forecastable? I would say yes, even though I did not long oil because I usually don't long oil, but there is quite a bit of momentum, and technicals don't always align, but there's that fundamental reason that flipped it around. Let's go to natural gas. We can see here natural gas could have a hourly oversold reaction, but again, this is not really a great spot to short because it already got shorted down 10%, sold off. So it needs to hold above 1016 to see if it's going to hold or break above that 1071 level or not. GLD, gold, there's a lot of lines here. Let's just remove that. Even Bollinger Band sometimes doesn't really give that much information. Let's be honest here. Is gold going uptrend or is it going downtrend? Is it going up or down? It's going down. Lower low, lower high. Lower low, lower high, lower low. So the only good thing I see here as a long is, okay, there's a 363 double bottom potential. And in terms of this last breakout, or the original golden cross, which was way back here in 2024, we're only around this 236 level. If we do a year-to-date Fibonacci, or even use 2025, we're at that 50% level. If we do a year-to-date, it's oversold. But it's downtrending, so I'm not really going to just be an oversold, overbought robot. If it's downtrending, in a death cross, I'm being very cautious of that. So support is 366, 382 is that resistance. Same thing with silver, is hit that $50 support level. It is downtrending severely, and we need to see if we can reach that resistance of 57.30. If we lose $50, probably going down to 45. Okay, let's do some semiconductor chip ETFs. SMH. Last week, remember the setup that I was talking about is we want to watch out for these potential rejections below a trend line. So we don't even need EMAs for this. This is just pure price action where I can see the resistance here at 650. Head and shoulders, although it's dirty. Now it's like, this reminds me of Bitcoin. Now there's a larger mega head and shoulders. And we did lose the neckline. We lost the the diagonal neckline and this horizontal support neckline. And this diagonal trend line. We lost it. So where are the targets? We're approaching that 382 level. Downside targets could be 515, 470, but algorithms don't want to let go that fast. They're not going to give up that fast. The daily chart, if SMH ever gets oversold, then that's the buy spot, basically. On this RSI purple line. If that ever happens, that would be like an April 25 setup. Or if I see massive momentum. I'm not trying to play every intraday oversold bounce that I see. Just trying to wait for it to bottom out, and then maybe I'll re-enter chip stocks. Congratulations to the shorts who shorted this since this ultimate high of 670. We are downtrending right now, so we'll see how low it goes. But just remember, when it pierces outside of a Bollinger Band, sometimes there is a bounce because these are chip stocks. These are not penny stocks. If this was a penny stock, it would just crash to oblivion, negative 25%, negative 50% in one day. That's not going to happen with SMH. Circuit breakers. All right. Let's go to DRAM. DRAM, very sensitive. Very sensitive. We lost VWAP of $60. Very simply, how can I chart this? We lost that trend line. Simple. Rejected below 65. And now if I use Fibonacci, it's easy to see. We lost that 50% retrace of $55. Now we're approaching that $50 range. Double top. Lower high, double top. Turning into an ugly head and shoulders pattern. If this is true, DRAM should fall 35% to the downside, which is not impossible. $39 downside target, but it could take 1 year to do that, 6 months, 1 year. This is all just modeling SNDK, by the way. So SNDK, when we had this massive top at 2,356, we can also see multiple triple top. I think the FOMO, this is like FOMO BART pattern, FOMO resistance, crown, head and shoulders, FOMO. This is so bad. If this head and shoulders is real, SNDK should fall negative 45% to $876 or lower. I mean, SNDK was the highest RSI of all time, 99 at some points. And if we Fibonacci the bottom to the top, right now on this daily chart, that could be a top pattern. You could see it. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Support level of 1600. The sell-off might not be over. I have no position in SNDK. I was out of there. I played one bounce and I got out of there because you could clearly see the rejection on a log scale. Time to escape or time to sell. And if someone is long, like I am, the next level of support, I'm not even playing EMA bounces. I'm trying to be very, very conservative. I need to see double bottom, upside down head and shoulders, uptrend reversal. If I don't see those three, I am out. I am skipping, I'm passing, and I don't even want to look at the chart until I see the next setup. So let's look at SpaceX. SpaceX, unfortunately, this could happen to IPOs. And this 1618 target was hit and broken, 132. We're at 124 approximately. Next downside target could unfortunately be 115, $90. Morningstar target is $63, $45. And it's still downtrending, the price. But this is not the end of the world, because this type of pattern also happened on Coinbase stock. Hood, happened on Reddit, even happened on SNDK, but this is not SNDK part 2. SpaceX is basically a mostly actually AI company, but then also a space rockets company. And when people ask me why is SpaceX going down, is well, there's maybe 2, 3, 4 fundamental factors, but also just the valuation of debuting as a top 10 largest $1 trillion market cap company in the entire world on day one. That's, we have to understand it's not the value, but it's just price. Is price high? Is price low? What's the environment right now? So I'm not going to say anything bad about this company. It's just, this is what I'm seeing on the charts. If the price was doing this, then I would say we're in an uptrend. But the price is in a downtrend for now. And so we have our downside targets. I'm not really looking at the indicators so much, because SpaceX does have its flight launch attempt next week or this year. Let's go to SKHY. Finally, this company debuted and whipsaw. There was some institution, forgot who it was, tried to upgrade it and say there's 120% upside, but yeah, I popped that 25% and then crashed back down 20%. And this is not really the right chart that I want to be looking at, right? Most people actually traded at 175. The real SKHY chart is this chart, and it's in a downtrend right now, negative 36%. We just turn all this off. Samsung, SKHY. We had this massive double top on June 2026. So if I use a trend line, I can already see. If I use maximum touch points, even though it looks kind of ugly, we just lost the trend line. It's not good. It's not good. Is it still uptrending? It is still uptrending. Totally fine. But SKHY went 10x, 11x. So is it time to sell some? The answer is yes when we get this bearish divergence, and it's already happening right now. The only thing that could save it is earnings, which is actually only in 5 days from now. So I have to watch that very closely. Okay, let's go to crypto. I try to make a shorter video, but there's so much important information going on that I need to respect the charts, respect the companies. Total crypto market cap, TOTAL. Weekly chart, that bullish divergence is still in play, but it could take 6 months to 1 year. On this daily chart, yes, we did reject. Remember I was saying there was suspicious resistance below that 2.2 trillion zone. We're still in a downtrend. And I'm not going to get too hyped, and I don't want to give people the wrong idea here. Just my personal opinion idea, it's not financial advice. Is when we're downtrending, it's not the time to buy long. It's not the time to buy green. The time to buy green and go long is when we actually have at least a golden up cross of the yellow 50 EMA above the red 200 EMA. At least go long there, and then try to catch one of these bounces or consolidation into a golden up cross, and then we all buy that. That was 2023, 24, and 25. 26 has been just massive pain for crypto bulls, including myself. And so I stopped trading crypto. I actually had a nice gain. I traded this spot. And I remember saying in May, I'm just taking my profit and I'm out of here on Bitcoin, on crypto. I'm out of there. So when we actually look at Bitcoin chart, like I was saying last time, it's not the perfect spot for me to go long because it already had that oversold bullish momentum. The only good thing is on this particular chart right now, 64,000 is that resistance, but we could get rejected down below this 50 EMA zone of $65,000 Bitcoin. We need to have a April 26th type of rally, which might not happen if AI chip stocks sell off. Meaning I just need to see this blue circle, copy paste it, which means the price has to blast above 65,000 and then rally up to 75,000 in the span of 1 to 3 months, which might not happen. That's why I have to just be patient, wait for the next support level, which could be 61,000. If we retest capitulation 58,000, 55, 45,000 or lower, I'm probably going to buy at those spots personally. But unless there's an actionable setup that on a weekly, there is a bullish setup. On the daily, it's already kind of half over. So I need to see an oversold reset. It's not game over on Bitcoin. Just have to keep waiting and waiting patiently. FUSD is what I'm saying, got rejected below that $2,000 area. We got that 1575 support level, and then that resistance rejection below 1950. So that average level is about 1780-ish area. Let's go to Ripple, and I'm going to end very soon. Ripple, the only thing good I'm seeing is there's a slanted upside down head and shoulders. Okay. All right. At least something's forming. The weekly chart, not quite a double bottom yet, but we've had upside down head and shoulders fail before. We almost had one here. They got rejected. That's why I'm not really going to tell people to buy crypto unless I see a great setup, which has not appeared yet. It's not appearing yet. The only thing is weekly, I have to just wait. I just have to wait. Can't overtrade, can't over leverage. Because even on a weekly Solana, we have a death cross. That's not good to see. That's exactly what we don't want to see as a bull. So that's why if we enter into a mega bear market, a super bear market, I'm not going to be that sad, even though I'm going to be a little bit, maybe I'll become impatient because AI stocks went up so high. And now the question is, well, when is crypto's return? When is that going to happen? Well, it could take up to 1.5 years for altcoins. We've already been down for almost 1 year, maybe 6 months to 1 year. We might turn around. And I don't really have to obsess over the charts too much. That's okay. As long as we stay above $67 to $60 support, there's a chance. But shorts might want to short this down. That's what I'm looking at, because if we go lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, if this is our lower high spot at 78 or even 92, which is our 200 EMA, we could still crash back down. That has happened before. So I need to see a double bottom, head and upside down head and shoulders, or just a breakout retest, and then we actually get out of that EMA oversold zone. Thank you for watching. It's all about patience and discipline. And sometimes when we're in a bear market for crypto or stocks, it can last 1 or 2 years. And then just being patient and not making too many critical mistakes during that time as a trader or investor. Then when the time comes for either crypto or stocks, it's time to go long again. Sometimes, though, I have to go hibernate. I have to wait. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, consider clicking like, subscribe, and hope you have a nice weekend. I'll see you next time.